California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whore.
Gavin Newsom completely lost his composure, raw, alive, and completely exposed. Greg Gutfeld ripped into the governor's record, his inflated ego, and even his well-known love for hair, gel, and one shocking takedown that left viewers stunned in silence after going after him like a California wildfire on national television with razor-sharp wit and unrelenting precision. This roast was not lighthearted. It was a complete assault. A brutal public fall that shattered Newsom's polished image in front of everyone who was watching. He wasn't just emotional when he broke down. It was as if the ground beneath his carefully constructed persona gave way suddenly, like an earthquake. The audience was riveted to their screens because this was not your typical political debate. Even as his anger spilled out in plain sight, at the highest level, everything fell apart completely. The kind that people would talk about, relive, and remember for years to come.
Let's take a closer look at this with a spot shadow or no spot shadow. What exactly is he trying to say here, huh? Is it a mysterious form of sign language for morons? Is he conveying some secret code to terrorists? Is he signaling the Los Angeles Angels to steal third base?
If you really don't want to miss this showdown, make sure you click the like button and subscribe before we continue. Greg Gutfeld entered the studio with the kind of trademark grin that tells you that something significant is about to happen. It was palpable to everyone. A person was about to be expelled. Gavin Newsom, who claimed to be a proponent of progressive politics and was well known for his bold promises, as well as his perfectly styled hair, was his target. Gutfeld didn't need to shout to make his point. He used sarcasm with careful precision and maintained his calm demeanor, choosing each word like a well-aimed strike, ready to cut through the polished image and expose the flaws beneath.
Welcome to a new segment called Gavin's Hands. He keeps his hands in motion and his hair full of lotion. True, Gavin's views may be idiotic, but his hands moves, well, they're hypnotic. California Governor Newsom's new podcast is out. It's available wherever fine hair care products are sold.
Before launching into more powerful punches, Greg Gutfeld began with a light, almost playful jab that teased Gavin's polished image. He jokingly said that Gavin Newsom doesn't just walk into a room. Rather, he makes his entrance glowing like he's in a slow-motion perfume commercial. Gutfeld chuckled that Gavin's smile probably shines brighter than California's unstable power grid on a few occasions when it actually works, even on cloudy days. He also stated that Newsom would be a high-end skincare product that was flashy, expensive, and left behind problems that nobody wanted to admit. It was a clever and sarcastic setup that got the crowd warmed up before the real storm came.
The riots aren't a protest against authoritarianism. They're a protest against order. Once you conflate order with authoritarianism, you get chaos and destruction. So if restoring order is evil, then the Dems are now the party of disorder. Turns out the only system they had was wokeism, and it rotted any basic principles the party had to begin with, which is why, like Gavin himself, they're left looking at 2028's hopes going up in flames.
However, Greg Gutfeld wasn't just there to make fun of perfect hair and bright smiles. He immediately turned his attention to California, the alleged paradise that Gavin had promised. Greg described it as a gated community with broken elevators, overpriced coffee, and sidewalks full of abandoned electric scooters rather than a shining example. He made a joke about how Newsom's concept of progress is more like confusion than stability, like when a hip wine bar is robbed by a man in flip-flops while the staff calmly gives him kale and asks if he needs a safe place. It was a harsh, funny, and cutting image that demonstrated how far Gavin's vision appears to have diverged from the fantasy he once sold.
So Newsom is fed up with tent cities, the crime, the urban decay? No, he's not mad about that stuff. He's mad you noticed. It's like a criminal telling a jury he's sorry he robbed 25 banks when he's just sorry he got caught on the 26th. Because this isn't some spontaneous crisis. It's a man-made disaster like Chernobyl or Fox and Friends.
Greg Gutfeld did more than just mention homelessness when the spotlight turned to it. He hurled it at the core of Gavin Newsom's record like a missile. He attacked Newsom's strategy, describing it as a risky combination of empty slogans, catchy TED Talk lines, and reckless budgeting that would land a teenager in jail for life. San Francisco has become a scavenger hunt as a result of his policies, with people frantically searching for clean sidewalks or restrooms devoid of discarded needles. Greg made the observation with his signature sharp sarcasm that tourists now take selfies in front of crime scenes because that is the most authentic memory they can take home from California. Despite the audience's laughter, the painful truth intensified the impact of each joke.
Why? What difference does that make? Why shouldn't a restaurant/bakery be subject to the same laws as everybody else? Is the bakers union that powerful? If you cross them, will you wind up with the Pillsbury Doughboy's head in your bed? No one will say. But according to a new Bloomberg News report, Newsom pushed for the bread exemption to help a longtime campaign donor, billionaire Greg Flynn, who happens to own a bunch of Panera Bread.